Hello and welcome back to the course on Tableau. In today's tutorial, we're going to solve the first part of the challenge and we'll identify which of the two regions is outperforming the other. Specifically, we will talk about measuring these three or assessing these three metrics and plotting them on a map. And in order to solve this challenge, we're going to learn how to create custom geographical regions or custom territories in Tableau. So it's going to be a fun tutorial. Let's get straight to it. All right, here's Tableau and let's open up our data set, which is an Excel file. So there it is, startup expansion. And if you have a look here, you'll see that indeed this is our file. At the bottom, we've got 150 rows and 10 of them are the new locations or the new cities where the company opened up recently. All right, so let's proceed to solving this part of the challenge. How are we going to visualize our different sales regions? Well, first of all, let's create a map. We'll drag state onto the blank area and we will change this to a filled map. As you can see here, now we've got the states where the company does operate. So you can see that they don't operate everywhere in the US, but in probably the majority of states, they are present. Now, how do we, even for ourselves, identify how these states are broken up into those two sales regions? So how do we know which states belong to sales region 1 and which states belong to sales region 2? Well, the fastest way is to just take sales region and put it into color. And there we go. We can see that there are our two sales regions, which are kind of like competing for performance, which are trying to grow faster. And obviously it's a way to structure a company or a startup to split it into two parts and then see kind of put them against each other so that they strive for the better growth and things like that. So that's great. And now how do we assess those metrics? So, for example, one of the metrics that we're assessing is the average revenue per city. How do we measure that, or how do we assess it? Well, let's give it a try. We'll take revenue and put it onto label. Now we will change this label very quickly. So we'll click here, click inside to format the label, maybe make it a 14. So now you can see the sum of the revenue for every state. Now we can quickly change it to measure sum. Let's change it to average. So now you can see the average revenue per state. So what does that mean? Well, for example, in Texas, you can see that it says 37,681. So that's the average of all the revenues in the state of Texas for all the cities in the state of Texas. So if you go to the top, you'll see that in Texas, we've got at least two cities. So there's Midland, there's Denton, and probably some more cities in Texas. And so they all have their revenue. And what we're seeing here is the average of all the cities in Texas. But what we are actually after is the average revenue for all the cities in sales region 1 and the average revenue for all the cities in sales region 2. So actually we don't want the grouping, the aggregation that just occurred. And even if we take the averages of these averages, that's not exactly what we're after. We just want Tableau to recognize this orange territory as a separate geographical object and then aggregate in that object. And then also recognize the blue territories or territory as one geographical object and group or aggregate all of the cities inside that territory and aggregate over them as well. So we just want two numbers, not that many numbers. So how would we go about doing this? Well, this is where we start talking about creating our custom territory. So basically we want Tableau to recognize this is a custom territory and this is a custom territory. And in Tableau, there are two ways for creating custom territories. Today, we'll look at approach number 1. All right, so how would we do it? Well, it's actually pretty simple. We're going to need to use a group. Now, I know we haven't spoken about groups in this course, and groups are a topic that we cover off in the advanced class on Tableau. But nevertheless, we're going to need them now. So I'm going to give you a quick preview of groups and you'll see how you can use them to solve this challenge. And if you're interested in further developing your knowledge, then you can always learn more about groups in the advanced course. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to hold down Control and select all of the states that we want to put into one of these regions. So there they are. And now we're going to just either hold our mouse over one of them and you'll see that we've got some options here. And grouping is actually this option here, which looks like a little staple or something like that. And the other option is if you right click and you select group and you just, in our case, we're going to select all dimensions. So now we've created a group. You can see the group on the left. There it is, sales, regions, and states. So that's how the group was created. That's what's included. And if you right click it and select edit group, you'll see that it has two parts to it. Now, I'm not going to go into detail about groups. This is not part of what we're focusing on right now. We actually just want to understand the custom territories. So in order to create the custom territory, from here, there's just one more step left. All you have to do is take state out of your visualization from here. And voila, as you can see, now Tableau has created 2 custom territories. So I'm just going to move this over here. And you can see that this is one huge custom territory, which is sales region number 2. And this is sales region number 1. So you can see that even though it's not contiguous, so it's like broken down into 3 bits, Tableau is recognizing it as a separate territory, which is a very, very powerful thing to have. And there you have the average already has been calculated. Now, if you want to restore the previous colors, very simple, just click edit color, select here orange, select here blue, click OK, there they are. And so now you can see that that is our average revenue. So right now, out of these 2 custom territories, this custom territory is performing better. So region 1 is outperforming region 2. Now we have to check the other 2 metrics as well. So let's put marketing spend in here as well. We'll say average. By the way, here's a quick tip. So instead of doing this, instead of dragging the label or the object, the measure into the label and then selecting from the drop down measure average, what you can do to speed up the process is right click when you're about to drag. Instead of left clicking, right click, drag it into label, and right away you're given this window where you can select. It's a pretty cool shortcut, so it allows you to save a bit of time on that one step. And that right away we've selected the average marketing spend. And finally, so let's actually also put in the sales region into the label. And what is the other thing? Oh, we wanted the ROMI, right? So we wanted the return on marketing investment, which is revenue divided by marketing spend. Let's create a calculated field. This is going to be ROMI and marketing spend. Revenue divided by marketing spend. Click OK. ROMI, put that into the label as well. Or again, let's use the shortcut. Right click, put in the label, average ROMI. And let's just tidy up this label a bit. We're going to take sales region and put it at the top. And then get rid of this. And then we'll say average revenue, average marketing spend, and finally average ROMI. And all of these should be centered. Okay, so let's click OK. So there you can see right away we've got some stats already. Region 2 average revenue 38, region 1 average revenue 40. So region 1 is ahead in that sense. Then in terms of marketing spend, got 2,000 in region 2, and in region 1 we've got 2,889. So in this sense, region 1 is ahead as well, because average marketing spend, the less it is, the better. And finally, average ROMI, the more the better. In region 1 it's a bit better because it's $14 revenue per dollar marketing spend. In region 2 it's only 13.4. All right, so that is how we come up with these. Of course, you can tidy these up a little bit so they look a bit better. So you can always change the font and size. And for example, let's just click on the label. And if here you can change this to, let's say, a 12, probably will be better, and bold and something like that. So that already looks better. Then, of course, getting rid of these zeros, you can also round your average marketing spend. So apply some calculations. But we're not going to focus on that. The main focus for today's tutorial was how to create this custom territory. And so we discussed the method for custom territories through creating a group. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and it is a very, very powerful feature that you can use in your mapping techniques. So definitely keep it in mind. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, happy coding.